Thank you for joining this session to start the conversation regarding student-focused design. My name is Kathy Moore and I am your facilitator. Most of you do not know each other, but each of you have a background that will help you contribute to today's workshop. Education is not going anywhere, but innovations will continue to come. As the people working the magic in the background and at the front of the room, it is up to us to be there for the students while we deliver the content. We are all in positions where students play a substantial role, but we can, on occasion, lose sight of them due to the shine of something new, especially in online environments. In this group, we have educators and instructional designers. Both disciplines have a passion for student success. We are here today to generate one or more prototypes to ensure that students remain at the focus of designs. I have created a design challenge that will help guide us in this effort. The details of that design challenge are in the package in front of you. You did not receive it until now, so that your thinking comes from a fresh perspective to allow your creativity to flow based on your experience, rather than you coming with prepared research. On the screen, you see a word cloud that shows the fundamental words that we will be working with throughout the challenge. These words come from the design challenge, and hopefully they will help motivate your design thinking and creativity. At the end of today's session, we'll create a new word cloud based on the prototypes you design and compare the two to see how far we've come. Let's get ready to have some fun, experience some mind shifts, and see the prototypes that come from working collaboratively. I have been in both face-to-face and online environments. In some of those spaces, I knew that my learning was the heart of the plan. Sadly, in some, I felt as though the tools were the focus, rather than my learning. In my experience, online learning is vulnerable to the focus shifting from the student to the latest technology. Many of us have had similar experiences. The risk of not having students at the heart of the goal is they simply produce what they feel is the correct answer and not engage in creating knowledge from the information in the course. Basing environments on innovations has brought us to the flexible learning settings that we have today, but we need to tread carefully when using those innovations and keep the focus on the students' learning. Each of you care about the students. That much is obvious. That is why you received the invitation to participate in this challenge. It may seem as though there is not a question here, since it's obvious that we should focus on the students. However, without a strong plan, the temptation may be too great when new technologies come into the field. We must carefully consider any available innovation, ensuring that it will enhance students' learning rather than detract from it. Creighton and Carter discussed the idea that design challenges must be flexible enough to encompass the positions of those involved in the situation. It is necessary for instructional designers to be cognizant of what educators are experiencing in the classroom in order to design a plan that works efficiently in the real world. Through the conversations we will have today, your prototype will come from both backgrounds, allowing it to have more depth than if one side developed the potential solution. Given that a large portion of the question is regarding student experience, empathic design will play a role in the session, for it truly connects with the students. Therefore, your task is to use not only your intellectual abilities, but apply empathy to connect the student's experience. Instructional design is not based purely in learning theory. Empathy also plays a role. Using technology, or not, will not affect its performance, while students may disengage if they do not feel connected to the course. Empathic design allows someone to learn more about the world of another while not needing the exact same experience. This concept allows educators and instructional designers to come closer to the student experience. When prototypes apply empathic design, students may have a hard time seeing the gap between those who create design and their own needs, thus encouraging their intellectual risk-taking by creating that safe environment. The prototype that you will build needs to address the question, how do we keep the student experience as top priority while accurately and completely delivering the content and applying the appropriate innovations in online environments? Of course, we will need to measure the prototype or prototypes you create. Merging the use of innovations and empathy will encourage students to engage with the information, transferring it to knowledge, and encouraging their educational success. The goal of this design challenge is to create a prototype that can address the issues we have discussed here. You will find the details surrounding the success determinants in your package, but here is an overview. Each technology serves a purpose. Versatility with innovations. Reliable and comfortable environment to encourage learning. Level of possible student-to-student and student-to-content connections. Feedback mechanisms to maintain the connection between those doing the learning and using the technology and those behind the design. Keeping these success determinants in mind will help guide you in your design thinking in today's session. Every good puzzle has guidelines, and the same is true when you participate in a design challenge. Here are the guidelines you need to know to complete this challenge. The prototype must include elements from the professional backgrounds of those present. Your plan must be open to student feedback. The design must apply to online learners. The plan should be versatile enough to provide support for many types of learners. The applied technology can come from any position on the continuum of innovation. Evolutions do not happen by people staying safe and thinking the same thoughts that brought past and current realities. Evolution is the result of taking chances, disrupting mindsets, and engaging in the process. The continuum of innovation includes everything from modern technology to cave drawings. While exploring this design challenge, I encourage you to consider that continuum and apply innovations that might give a unique perspective to the prototype. I also encourage you to really listen to each other and discuss your backgrounds. The new reality may lie somewhere in the middle, meaning that each person's experience is critical to the challenge. Drone states that something radically new is unlikely to fit as easily as something that is an incremental evolution of old technologies. Think of that as you review technologies to include in your prototype. Now that you've heard the reasons behind the design challenge and why you were invited to participate, it is time for you to explore the endless possibilities that can create one or more prototypes to offer possible solutions to the question, how do we keep the student's experience as top priority while delivering the content with innovations in online environments? Think about how you felt in your experience as a student and use that to start your conversations. In addition, you can apply what you know as an educator or instructional designer and amalgamate those experiences as a starting point to your prototype. There are no bad ideas here, as each one can lead to a prototype. You may find that a Venn diagram will help you and your team see where you have commonalities in your experience. After the coffee break, you will split into teams as indicated in your packages and follow the success determinants and parameters to get creative and see what happens. For the remainder of the session, you are welcome to use the Design Challenge document as a reference. I will be available to answer any questions you have regarding this challenge, and I am excited to see what designs come from these conversations.